Hello, YouTube. Today it's Mark Ghostface, and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today we're going to be going over all the unused content, or at least most of the unused content that was not released into Dead by Daylight. So let's get straight into it. Some of the unused characters were one of them was the Smasher. It was basically to destroy parts of the level. Well, that was his ability, and a lot of people think that the breakable doors that you see in the game were actually a part of his ability, and they weren't able to release the character, so they kept the doors in to be a memory of him. The next unused character we have is the Teacher. Now, a lot of people actually thought that this was going to come into the game because there was a killer power, which was named Attention, which looked like a ruler, and it was most likely to belong to the Teacher Killer, but it didn't. We didn't know what abilities it had. It was added into the game of July 2016 before the Nurse DLC, and a lot of people started to speculate that a teacher type of killer will be added in the game. Um, so it wasn't that we never really knew what else about it. We just knew that we thought it all was a hoax created by the developers to just fuel community speculation. But let's move on. Now we have an unused mode, which was called Quick Play. It was available early in the game's life, and basically you would either join or create a rank lobby as obviously survivor or killer, but you could not queue with friends or communicate with other players. And the rank was based on like the blood points you earn per match or in the match. But general discussing of people and players not really liking it, it was removed in the game in patch 1.50, which was April 27th, 2017. And I'm getting all my information by Dead by Daylight Wiki, so you can obviously go fact check me on all this. Some unused maps, um, were or some realms that had maps that were in the game vault, but they weren't actually into the final game. Was Minnie and Seb's Dream in Macmillan Estate, and Infinite Gem for Crotus Pen Asylum. Um, and then for Backwater Swamp had Dead Lake and Grim Gully. Obviously, these did not make it into the final game, but we never even got a kind of look at them. Not from my knowledge, we didn't get a look at them to even see what it would have looked like. But kind of from my just thinking, Step String probably would be like it'd probably be something like how whenever Freddy puts you into the dream world and everything goes kind of dark. I would say it probably would maybe look something kind of like that. And then Infinite Gem. Mm, I have really no idea what that would probably look like. It'd probably just be a gym, says in the name. But open y'all's opinion about it. And then Grim Gully and Dead Lake. I have no idea what those would look like. I really have no idea. Maybe like trees falling over and stuff. I don't know. But unused. Let's go over some um unused perks. Now we don't have the icons for a lot of these perks, but we still have like the name. Um, let's see. For the first perk that was not used was Artifact Hunter. It was used by the survivors. We don't have any description on it, and we have no idea what the effects would have been. But mm, it sounds probably like maybe you could see the aura of the killer, maybe. But for the next perk, it was called In the Dark. It was used by killers. The description is your tear radius is set to 32, 24, or 16 meters, depending on the amount of survivors left in the trial. That would be That'd be very interesting to play out. I don't know how it would help you, but be interesting. Last Standing, which is what we have now called Left Behind, and it was obviously used by survivors. And then for the description, it says for each survivor escaped or killed, your action speed is increased by 7.5, 15, or 25%. So, and I think the Left Behind perk in the game, it just shows you where the hatch is, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the extra speed for it, but next perk we have is Overconfidence. You buy survivors. Description, we don't have any description or we don't know the effects. Mm, I'm thinking it would kind of be maybe get a speed boost from looping the killer or something. And then last perk we have is Underperform. We do have the icon, which I'll show up on screen. Hopefully, I need to remind myself to put this in after I edit it. But it will probably go along something with a teacher, maybe a survivor that was brought in with them. But yeah, that is all the unused content that I have found. If you have any more, let me know. But yeah, thank y'all for watching and subscribe if y'all want to. I will see y'all in the fog. Goodbye.